So, have you ever been in that scenario where you're taking a test or a pop quiz and everybody in the class, they're making like an A and a B, a few 100s, except you, and you get a big old fat F, the only F in the class? Well, that scenario is actually playing out right now in the cruise space where we have a cruise line and a cruise ship scoring 67 on their latest sanitation inspection. Wait till you hear the deets on that. Also, not more bad news, I guess. You've got Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line announcing that there's a couple ports of call that they will not be visiting on cruises that they've already sold. We have Germany saying Guten Tag to the sea rodent. And well, Carnival, they're cacawing, they're celebrating because they're hitting a big number of passengers in a country not too far from Texas. Yes, it's cruise news draped in the veils of mystery. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you all the deets. Cruise news and my views on a Saturday. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your bing face. I'm here to talk to you about everything going on in cruising. And there's a few things going on in cruising. I did, an aside real quick. Yesterday, I did catch Volume 3 of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the first time I've seen a Marvel movie on launch day in a while, and it was dang good. I just want to say that. It was dang good. And I also ran into somebody from the Loca fam. I didn't catch their names, but I ran into a nice family, and they said, shout out to the Loca fam. And so I shout them back out. How about that? It was very nice to meet you guys. I hope you enjoyed the movie. It seems like you did. I saw you when you left. Seemed like you liked the movie, so that's good. All right, cruise news story number 1. Norwegian Cruise Line has announced that an upcoming sailing on the NCL Gem that was supposed to go to Venice over there in Italy, well, they're not going to go to Venice in Italy. Instead, they're going to go to Trieste, or Trieste. Maybe somebody Italian can help me with my pronunciation. Trieste is about 100 miles away from Venice. Sometimes cruise ships will dock there and then they will provide a tender service to Venice, but that's not the case for the Norwegian Gem. Guests booked on the Gem for the May the 12th sailing were notified that they would not be going to Venice. In the email, it said, while we try to maintain original itineraries as much as possible, unfortunately, at times there are circumstances outside our control that require us to make adjustments. As such, due to port availability, we will no longer be calling to Venice, Italy. Instead, we will overnight in Trieste, Italy. Norwegian Cruise Line also canceled all the associated excursions with Venice, Italy for that sailing, leaving people to kind of decide for themselves or get third-party ways to go to Venice if they want. Venice is one of those cities that have been actively pursuing having less cruise passengers in their city, citing damage to the ecosystem, to the lagoon there. And so this is probably part and parcel with this, but really no explanation other than sometimes things are out of their control and things change. Anybody on the Gem for this May the 12th sailing, how would you feel if you had planned to go to Venice and it got cancellated? Leave a comment below. Now, Norwegian Cruise Line, not the only cruise line needing to notify passengers of changed itineraries. Over this past week, Royal Caribbean has been reaching out to their passengers on their Quantum of the Seas cruise ship, which is going to be doing sailings in Alaska this season, saying that, hey, we know you booked a cruise that had Skagway as part of the itinerary. However, Skagway is going to be a port stop for us no more. In an email sent out to passengers, Royal Caribbean said last season, landslides in Skagway, Alaska impacted the pier where our ships dock. While repairs have been ongoing, they won't be ready for 2 large ships visiting simultaneously. So to ensure we provide you with the best experience, we replaced our visit with icy Strait Point, Alaska. If you follow the Alaska cruising landscape for any period of time, this should be no surprise. The landslides in Skagway have caused a lot of challenges. Cruise ships not able to use the dock there, at least like they said, 2 at a time, maybe 1 ship at a time. Other ships forced to moor further offshore and use a tender service to get passengers on board. It's a bit of a challenge. Icy Strait Point is an interesting place. It's almost like the private island of Alaska, man-made scenario, but there's some great excursions out of Icy Strait Point. Some of the best stories of whale watching I've heard from people that went whale watching from Icy Strait Point. So definitely another spot to go to, but it's certainly different than going to Skagway. I think Fleetwood Mac and the Dixie Chicks said it best when they said, "The landslide brought me down." Real quickly, let me share this picture with you. This is from the Facebook page of Carnival brand ambassador John Heald. This is a barge carrying the pieces of the iconic funnel for the new Carnival Jubilee. This is pretty cool. I'd love to see how these pieces are fabricated. Interestingly, the Carnival Freedom, their whale tail caught on fire, and they didn't replace it with the iconic whale tail because I'm assuming they have to go through a fabrication process that takes some time. But yeah, here we go. The Jubilee is getting closer to making its debut in Galveston, Texas, deep in the heart of Texas, except on the coast. But you know what I mean. And speaking of Carnival, they've made an interesting announcement. They are kind of bragging, which good on them for bragging, that in 2023, this year, they will be taking 3 million passengers to the country of Mexico. 1.6 million of those cruise passengers will be visiting the most popular spot in Mexico. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess? It's not Mexico City. It's Cozumel, Mexico. Carnival will also have port stops in Progreso, Costa Maya, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, Ensenada, and Mazatlan. Mazatlan. And well, you know, if 3 million is not impressive, the estimate for 2024 is 3.5 million. So in your face, are you impressed? Are you not impressed? Leave a comment below. And continuing on in the Carnival conversation, let me do a quick correction from the show the other day. I was talking about Mobile, Alabama. I had alluded to the fact that Mobile hadn't gotten a lot of love since the restart, and I talked about how the Spirit would be going to Mobile later this year, and I was wrong. There was some cruising out of Mobile last season, so they haven't been completely ignored over the last few years. Apologies for that. And then the other thing I said is they have to have a small ship in Mobile so they can get under the bridge. There's no bridge in Mobile. I think I got it confused with Jacksonville and definitely confused with Tampa. So those are a couple corrections. Thanks everybody in the comments for pointing that out. And I guess maybe they just had a small ship in Mobile just for demands purposes. So now they got a little bigger ship in the Spirit. Hopefully they overbook that thing and maybe they can even get a bigger ship as time goes on. But the takeaway from that story, and for everybody that's not a Tide fan and they're a War Eagles fan, the only reason I even care is my brother lives in Birmingham and he's a Tide fan, Roll Tide Roll. So that Roll Tide Roll was really for him, but I'll do a War Damn Eagle for you guys also if you want. I don't really care either way who wins the football game there in Alabama. So I don't know though. I may take it back because I think Paul Bear Bryant had some great style. I love that jacket he had. Either way, but yeah, I hope all the Alabama fans are taken care of. My favorite sporting event place in Alabama is in Huntsville at the Space and Rocket Center, where I don't guess that is sporting. Either way, that's the updates on Mobile. Who's your favorite football team in Alabama, Kakalaki, or who's your favorite astronaut? I'm a big fan of Wally Schirra. How about that? Wally didn't get enough love. All right, did you hear about the cruise ship that failed its ship inspection? I'm going to tell you all about it, but first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, baby, cruising, please consider subscribing, notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. Why do it? Well, it doesn't cost anything. It's a way for YouTube to notify you when the new show comes out, where you can be a part of the notification squad, and it makes me feel good. It makes me happy. Thank you in advance. I just realized I didn't tell you which sea rodent that Germany is saying Guten Tag to. Of course, the only sea rodent we know is Mickey Mouse. Mickey and Minnie, the co-captains of the Disney cruise ships. They're going to be going to Hamburg in Germany in 2024. That's kind of a new port of call for Disney. And Hamburg, not to be confused with hamburgers, which it's almost lunchtime here, which I could go for a hamburger, honestly, or pizza. What am I saying? Hamburg. Yes, Disney coming to Hamburg in 2024. And Hamburg, dang excited. They said this. Disney's Cruise Line's visit to Hamburg will be an absolute highlight in the coming year. And we will do our best to support the cruise line leading up to the sailing to offer guests an unforgettable travel experience to our city. That's one of the tourism leaders there in Hamburg. And I, for one, believer. I had such a great time last month visiting cities in Europe that I'd never been to before. I have no doubt that Hamburg will be a cool place to go to. Have you ever done anything in Germany? What's your favorite city there? Do you love Disney? Are you offended that I called Mickey and Minnie sea rodents? If so, leave a comment below. All right, the MSC Seaside is a cruise ship that I've been on, a cruise ship that I enjoyed. They full on failed their ship inspection, their latest ship inspection from the CDC. The CDC has a program called the Vessel Sanitation Program. This program has been in place for a long period of time, even before COVID. So if you only started mistrusting the CDC during COVID, and maybe you trusted them before. I don't know. I don't even know if this matters, because maybe people don't even, maybe it's a conspiracy and they failed the MSC Seaside because they don't like MSC because they're doing so good. What kind of conspiracy can we come up? Either way, they test all the cruise ships voluntarily that sail in U.S. waters. 85 is a passing score. You can go to the VSP website and look up your favorite cruise ship. Here's the list of all of the MSC cruise ships. And if you look there at the bottom on the 27th of April, well, the MSC got a big old fat fail, 67. I don't even know what all the deets are. You can dig into the report. I'm sure they'll be fixing it. Does anybody even care? If you see a 67, are you canceling your Seaside? I would say not. Well, what's the comment on this one? Leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Hope you have a great weekend. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see each and every one of you on the Lido. It's a big Lido. Bye.